right? You'll notice from the second document I sent, it's called Maximize the Chance You're Given. Okay, so we're here because we know that we've had some issues and we've messed up, and she's giving you some version of another chance. Now, some of you not so, because of maybe your addiction, you've lost your marriage, and I'm sorry. For some of you guys, you're not married yet, so this is your chance before you meet your wife to get the right recovery disposition going. But the idea is you've been given this chance to make the turnaround. What's the best mindset? What's the right disposition that you have to make the most of this chance? And so that's what's behind my talk today, is just if I've been given this chance, how do I maximize it? So there's 5 points and another 6 or so points under each. So we're going to walk through this together. So number one, whatever chance you are given, it's all grace. Be grateful, not assuming. It's all grace. Remember, grace is getting what you don't deserve. You really don't deserve another chance. You don't necessarily deserve her being patient with you and forgiving and giving you another shot. But be really, really careful that you don't assume that you deserve a second chance. Well, it's the least you can do. We're married, or whatever. But just be really thankful for her grace. You may have heard the expression, and I grew up in the prairies where we would actually skate on ponds in the winter because they would freeze solid. But sometimes in the spring or in the early fall, when the first freeze, I mean, you got to wait till it's 1.5 inches or 2 inches thick before it'll actually sustain your weight, because there's times that people will fall through. And so we heard the expression, be careful, you're walking on thin ice. And of course, implication is if you're not careful, you'll fall through the ice into the water. I would say that I love the expression, you're walking on thin grace. Right now, she's giving you this chance, but don't be presumptuous. Don't, hey, I'm going to do it, and she's good, and we're going to make it. And be careful on, you're walking on thin grace. And so just be thankful. Be careful on presuming on her grace. Oh, she loves me. We're going to make it. She what can she do? She's going to leave me. She can't afford to leave me. Well, what kind of silly talk is that? And you know what? I mean, it's not uncommon. Twice since Christmas, I've talked to a wife and asked the question, can you financially make it without him? But you don't want to hear that. But the point is, one person talked about this amazing gift they were given, and financially, and someone else is helping them out, and because they if they don't see the changes, if they don't see the effort, if they don't see you working hard, why should they stick around? So don't presume under grace, believing that she loves me, she's going to continue. And remember, partner betrayal trauma is like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's massive to overcome. Partner, that's spouse. Betrayal, you've been betrayed her. And trauma, she's going through this amazing, anxious, stress, second guessing. It is really difficult. And so if you need a pain reminder, go to a bathroom, close the door, look in the mirror, and repeat out loud the number of times that you broke her heart by going back to porn or acting out or lying to her, hiding this, she finding out, and just review it out loud. Okay, well, there was this time and this time and this time. And you realize that you got to walk more grateful, guys. Don't be assuming. just thank you, honey. Thank you for giving me this chance. Thank you so much. So number two, the chance you are given, you don't deserve. So be humble, not entitled. Be humble, not entitled. Your selfishness and sexual sinfulness have put a big hole in her heart. Put a hole in her heart. Matter of fact, I've often expressed it like this: you want her to love you and embrace you, and you're holding a smoking gun that shot her in the chest repeatedly, and you say, honey, come here, I love you. You're holding this gun, and she's supposed to go, oh yeah, okay, I'll come and hug you, gun holder who just shot me. Like it's just ludicrous to think that hole should be just, oh, I'll put it away. I'm good. I won't do that again. And of course, there's been many overtures that I won't do that again. And you have some version of relapse or hurt her again. And remember, the lies are equally part of the addiction. And so when we talk about be humble, humility actually causes you to own your stuff fully, freely, and frequently. You see, if when she's hurting, I'm so grateful you give me another chance. I'm really sorry. I did this. I own my stuff, and she doesn't owe you another chance. She doesn't owe you. Now, well, God says you got to forgive. You can do all these moralizing things that give you another chance, as it were. But you really shouldn't get on the pulpit right now and be the guy who's teaching her and preaching to her about what she should be doing. So give her reasons to trust you again, but what you're doing and not what you're saying. Talk is cheap. Don't be, oh yeah, I'm good, hon, I'm good. No. Make the changes. Like do the weekly update that we just talked about. Actually do it. Give her reasons to trust you again. And be careful on judging yourself by your intentions and not by your actions. Because you see, in your heart, you see yourself as a good guy. Well, listen, I'm going to get to that. I really want to do this for us, honey. And you're saying all these nice things. But what's happened is, because there's been too many times those things have been said and nothing has been really done. You judge yourself by your intentions, what you're wanting to do, not what you're actually doing. I have guys actually in session with me with their wife there saying, well, I'm planning on, I've ordered the material. Well, I'm going to be ordering the material, and there's really good podcasts, I'm wanting to get to. Did you hear it? I just want to know. I could embarrass the guy. Says, what the heck? Why are you talking about what you want to do and what you're intending to do? Tell her what you are doing. And so don't judge yourself by your intentions. Do it by your actions. And remember, she's been coached to believe behavior. That's a famous line by Dr. Doug Weiss. Matter of fact, I've heard him say this, and he's famous for it. He says to his wife well, what should I do with my husband? His addiction, is he going to make it? And he says this, you'll know in the first 90 days whether he's going to make it. Because he just says you can see where the guy's put in the effort or not, and if he's flaky and if he's just all talk. He said, I heard him say in his office to a lady, you'll know in the next 90 days. So then he picks, you'll know by April 1st whether he's bogus or whether he really does want to make the changes and love you, or if he wants to love the addiction. Number three, to maximize the chance you are given, the ideal recovery disposition, thirdly, is you may only have one chance. Use it well. Don't think, well, she's been gracious here, so, and the guys do this one. I don't want to tell her I relapsed because then she'll dump me for sure. Well, no, you got to own up to the fact that you are on thin ice and you need to use this chance well, but don't lie to her. Don't lie to her. Matter of fact, I've had women say, look, I know he only made it 17 days without relapsing, but I was so happy that within 2 or 3 hours of him relapsing, he called me or he talked to me or he admitted. That's never happened before. I've always had to catch him. Well, that's progress. Not that you relapse, but you're being honest about it. But be responsible, not half-hearted. Dig in, work hard, work long, pay the price. Don't make excuses for lack of effort. Do the recovery work like your life depends on it. In some ways, it does. Uh, Fight hard for the right to earn her back. Use this chance well, and be careful on pointing out the changes you are making as if you deserve a reward. Be really careful that you don't get into this habit of, well, I would expect. I watched a video this week on recovery, and it's kind of like, where's my gold star in my chest? Be careful. Remember, she reads, and I talk to the women in Purge about it. Boys make excuses, men make changes. Been in my office, it's right on my wall. And you need to use this chance well. Don't trumpet your changes. Merely share what you're doing and what you're learning. And so it's almost like, well, I did this week. You should at least, no, you don't have any right to say at least this or that. Just do your work. Use the chance well. Be responsible as much as you can moving forward. Let's go on to number 4. Use the chance by targeting her. It's not about you. Be selfless, not selfish. This may be one of the hardest one of the 4, because by nature, an addict is selfish. By nature, an addict who has lied and hidden to continue his inappropriate behavior is really self-centered, is really a selfish person. And it's a hard thing to get beyond your selfishness and to focus on you, even in the recovery. And so what some men do, they actually guilt her, well, how come you're not encouraging me? You should be encouraged. I'm trying hard, like that's selfishness. And don't try to teach her. And I just found this verse. I thought it'd be good for you. Like you're now her teacher. You're the one that's going to be coaching her and what would be good for her. You're reading some things and you're reminding her, I read this and this would be good, honey. You should likely look at this. Be really careful on that one. Or even worse, playing Holy Spirit to try to convict her that, you're kind of being a little slow to forgive. It's really hard to keep going when you don't forgive me and trust me. Those lines you don't have a right to say those things. Let God speak to her. Let other people speak to her about the changes she needs to make and how she needs to forgive you. But don't talk about your pain. I've had more women say, I can't believe this week he said, oh, how hard this is for me to make these changes, what I'm doing for you. And I wish I was there, because I just punch him right in the nose. What do you mean you're doing for her? You're doing it for you because you need to make changes, because you've been cheating on her through the porn or sexual addiction. You've been lying to her. You've been hurting her, and you're doing it for her. Well, that is so twisted. You're doing it for you, to become a man of integrity, to make the changes so she will respect you and you might earn her back. You've been given this chance. It's not about you. Don't be selfish. So don't talk about your pain or how hard this is for you. Now, you can talk about that to your accountability partner. You can talk about that to the men in your regroup. I'm finding it really hard. It's a hard week. I've done a lot of work and she not giving me much credit. Have your buddy say, hey, good job on your work this week. Don't be, knock on her door saying, you didn't encourage me enough this week. This is really hard, Don't be going there. That's complete selfishness. And sometimes guys look for a gold star for every bit of recovery work. So the guy this week, he orders the material. Well, what expect? I've already ordered the material. Well, last time I checked, ordering the material was a 7 to 10 minute process. Online, click, click, card in, it'll send, it'll come to you. That's, yeah, good job, big guy. Like, be careful on looking for rewards from your spouse on a return. Don't talk about you or brag about how well you're doing. Don't look for applause. Just shut up and do the work. Because you see, you got to use this chance by looking at it from her perspective, by targeting her. It's not about you. Be selfless. Don't be selfish in your recovery. And finally, the chance is still so painful that she's giving you another chance is costing her. So you need to embrace her triggers. I get guys who roll their eyes, oh, brother, here we go again. I know this is a trigger. You know, do you understand that? Like, how completely self-centered. You're not sensitive. And you know, like I've had guys say, well, okay, we've talked about this before, kind of like, how come you're not over that? Or one guy, you know how hard it is for me when you bring that up again. I don't like when you get triggered like that because it reminds me, and it's all about them again. And they're whining. Acknowledge your pain. If she's triggered, acknowledge your pain. Don't be impatient about her journey. Stay in your lane, acknowledge her pain. And remember, you're not really good at empathizing. I've got a talk coming. It's actually, I got a title and a few points on it already. It's not ready for sharing with you. But a person who struggled with porn or sexual addiction is not an empathetic man. He is not an empathetic man. And so you're an infant at empathizing. Don't think you understand her pain, and try to listen, ask questions, but you'd be likely wise to say, oh, I understand your pain, honey. No, don't, no, that would not be your best line. Accept her triggers without critique. And if you haven't read the article, Triggered, What to Do When Your Wife is Triggered, if you haven't read that article, go to the website, type in the word triggered, print that article, and tape it to your forehead for the next 6 months. Because you got to accept that she's going to have triggers, and you need to just accept them. Don't try to critique them or explain them away. Own the hurt that you've caused. Admit the triggers persist because of the hurt you caused, and just apologize over and over again. Honey, I'm really sorry. This is all because of me. I'm really sorry. And do that for 18 months. Why do I say 18 months? Well, for most guys, you've been acting out longer than that, but she's on a journey for quite a while to get over all the different triggers. And so to apologize, I'm really sorry. This is because of me. I own it. You're having to go through this because of me, honey. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Yeah. Don't pout. Don't look for sympathy. Don't ever talk about how hard this is for you. It's not just hard for you, honey. You know, and when you talk like this, it triggers me too. Oh, brother, that's all about being selfish again. And then don't whine about the work that you need to do. Push yourself to make the changes. And when she is triggered, simply say, you know, honey, I'm really sorry. This is on me, all because of me. I'm sorry. What do you need from me? Do you need space? I'll give you space. Do you need me to hold you? I'll hold you. But just whatever her request is, honor her by giving her what she needs, and patiently, humbly, responsibly, selfishly or selflessly, and sensitively be consistent in how you love her. Maximize the chance you're given, guys. This is the ideal recovery disposition. You've been given a chance. It's all grace. Be grateful, not assuming. The chance you're given, you don't deserve. Be humble, not entitled. 3, you may only have one chance. Use it well. Be responsible and never half-hearted. Number 4, use the chance by targeting her. It's not about you. Be selfish, selfless, not selfish. And finally, the chance that you're getting is still so painful for her. embrace her triggers, be sensitive and not whiny. And over again, go to the Lord to ask for strength to be the man God wants you to be with the chance that you've been given.